And recently the Holy Spirit began to tell me about a certain plan. The plan is to destroy so many with floods and fire. With these bombs. We're talking about small munitions with devastating explosive force. And the plan is for millions of people to die.
Catastrophe in California. A Los Angeles disaster movie roars to life.
Whoa! This was like an 80-mile-an-hour blowtorch.
I came out and I saw a fireball.
Do you know what you're gonna do now?
How do I get to my house?
Tonight, homes in ashes.
Oh, God, it's gone.
I hadn't cried until I got here.
Lives in chaos.
Make no mistake, these fires are not natural.
This is siege by design.
On January 13, 2025, the city of Los Angeles, California, was engulfed in flames.
This morning, the firestorm officials had feared becoming a reality, with a third out-of-control wildfire exploding overnight in the Los Angeles area.
At the end of the day, I mean, who's ready for something like this?
Overnight, flames reaching the iconic Malibu neighborhood and its beachfront homes. In the coastal neighborhood Pacific Palisades, multiple homes completely engulfed in flames, with desperate residents rushing to get out. Planes flying above the area, capturing the massive reach of the inferno. The fire jumping Pacific Coast Highway, burning all the way to the ocean, even threatening the famed Getty Villa Art Museum. And two more fires igniting overnight, spreading to Pasadena, where this Jewish temple erupted in flames.
It's like a bad, horrific dream.
In Altadena, dramatic video showing elderly patients being evacuated from a senior center.
I don't know how we're gonna come back from this. I don't even know where to start.
A lot of stuff that I love is gone, and these are the only things I have. This, oh no, and this.
You have the wildfires caused by arsonist governments in the United States and Canada. They are the managers of the forests. They pretend they don't know the cause of the fires.
The governor says he can't get a straight answer out of anybody.
I want to get the answers, and I'll be candid with you, I wasn't getting straight answers.
Yeah.
I watched the press conference. I met with some of those leaders. We had my team start talking to local leaders, saying what's going on. Our state.
And you weren't getting straight answers from.
I was getting different answers. When you start getting different answers, then I'm not getting the actual story.
The governor doesn't have a strong grasp of what's happening and keeps passing the buck to the locals.
They know they caused the fires. They caused the fires to further their trickery on the people.
My first piece of advice to you is let's take care of our mental and physical health first before we embark upon what is going to be a journey to rebuild these communities back and rebuild them better than they were when we started this fire. When we started this fire. When we started this fire.
I told you that. You have since found that this was true. So it's all about climate change agenda. So they want us to believe that the fires are caused by climate change.
The fires are now the most destructive natural disasters in Los Angeles history. And despite the misinformation that's circulating here in the capital, in Southern California, and everywhere in between, it's clear that these fires only reach the size and the scale that they have because of unseasonably dry vegetation and extremely high winds, both of which are a direct result of climate change.
There's no science to support it. And they're cleaning out from the records of fires prior to what the narrative gives us. They're cleaning out previous records so that we can compare the past to the present to realize that there's been no change, no significant change. There have been years in recent past, I'm not even talking about hundreds of years. No, in recent past, there have been years with more fires than you have in these very countries and cities that you have today. But they want us to believe that somehow these are results of climate change. But they are setting the places on fire.
In accordance with this firm assertion of the man of God, mounting evidence about these wildfires blamed on climate change have been proven to be willfully plotted schemes executed by government arsonists. In effect, similar patterns have been recorded in the LA fires, as there were in the Maui fires, as well as in other wildfires in recent years.
With those kinds of fires, the place is left so devastated, you don't find the frames of the building standing. That's unlike natural fires. So where are the frames? Why aren't they standing?
Starting after the Paradise Fire of 2018, many with a memory started noticing things that didn't seem normal. And the media told us climate change. With over 40 years of experience, forensic arborist Robert Brom has been investigating the damage from these suspicious fires since Paradise. Based on his evidence, these fires are being caused by some sort of directed energy weapon. As many of us suspected, the trees in these recent forest fires are not burning as they should be.
This is common for a horrific firestorm. This is what's left. They all look like this. There's nothing left. The twigs, the needles, the branches, even the trees will burn down, sometimes to a low stump or even a hole in the ground. Not like this one. This was the big Coffee Park fire in Santa Rosa, where 4,700 homes were turned to white ash. And look at the trees. Why aren't they missing along with the houses? Many of these are pine family relatives. Eucalyptus against that road there, or whatever that is, against the road. Those are eucalyptus back there, the round ones. Those are so flammable, a cigarette lighter in your hand can light those on fire. A green leaf, light them right on fire. The forest is primarily valley oak, blue oak, and California bay, which is a very combustible leaf. I can light them on fire again with a cigarette lighter. They didn't burn. There's a bay tree right there. The bottoms will always be burned right at ground level. No reason for that. Grass couldn't do that. You have to have a lot of flames to do that. No, they're being cooked right where they're at. This was an entire bay forest, and I couldn't find one leaf burned.
And trees are burning from the inside out.
Many trees are cooking from the inside out. They're burning. Thing was about 4 feet in diameter in a spring, burned from the inside out, and not one leaf burned. When you look at the cuts, this is very important. These are 90% dead. They should not have that heartwood. The dark area is the heartwood. It shows me these things were cooked from the inside out.
There are many anomalies to be found in these fires.
And here's a soil bag that still had soil in it. That was there, the tennis shoe was there, and you see the black. There's black everywhere, a cushion for your chair. I see this chainsaw in the back of this pickup truck. The window melted out at 2,500 degrees. All the tires burned completely, leaving the slinky-like steel belts. That plastic should be gone completely, down to the metals. Didn't happen.
There's so much white ash in some of these photos. It looks like the heat would have been really intense. However, it didn't reach very far.
Why is that? Why is everything reduced to white ash versus...
Well, I'm going to have to say it's because of the extreme heat. It's a different kind of flame. To me, these are microwave-based flames.
And then I told you it'll include nano weapons, nano bombs, and that's going to make it really, really horrible, because you're talking about nano-enhanced lasers.
Have you ever heard of the term called dews? Not the morning dew that wets the flowers and grasses of the field, but direct energy weapons, also known as dews. Dews are weapons that deploy a high energy beam, including lasers, microwaves, and particle beams.
For the past few years, many have wondered if these advanced weapon systems have anything to do with the unprecedented fires we have seen in the past few years. Laser-based weapons are able to destroy the target with external heat, and microwave weapons are designed to penetrate the target through external antennas and sensors and ignite the internal electronics, destroying them from the inside out.
This could explain how thousands of homes have rapidly burned into their own footprint, while the trees surrounding them survive.
Think about the conflagrations in Canada, United States, Hawaii. And of course, they may be coming close to your country, your city, where government policies forbid efforts to stop the fires. Think about it. How can you have such infernos and people are stopped from making efforts to stop the fire?
This was not a natural disaster. This was a direct energy attack on the people and the place of Maui. There were trees standing and the buildings gone. There were trees standing and the buildings gone. There were trees standing and the buildings gone. This system, this weather system, came in from the mountains, from the east. That does not happen. They were not telling people anything. They were not letting people in to help. And they were letting people go in to get burned alive. There were people burning alive in the streets. There were people dead in the water. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people that died. What they're telling you in the news is not true, and I lived it firsthand.
Just like it was in Maui, so it was in California, where firefighting efforts were frustrated.
A fire truck drove by. We ran to, we said, please, can you please help us put this fire out? You know what they said to us? I'm sorry, we have no water.
This is all you have?
That's all I have. I have nothing.
The elite are brazen. They're not even trying to pretend that this wasn't a giant setup. Governor Newsom blocks the release of vital water from mountain reservoirs, depriving firefighters of a critical resource. For over 2 decades, Democrats have refused to maintain fire mitigation systems or clear brush from high-risk areas, allowing these tinderboxes to grow unchecked. LA's newly appointed DEI-focused fire chief openly stated her priority was enforcing diversity quotas, not fighting fires or managing disasters. This same chief supported slashing $17.5 million from the fire department's budget. Where is Mayor Karen Bass, you might ask? She was in Ghana on a taxpayer-funded junket while her city burned, refusing to address the crisis or even acknowledge the displaced victims upon her return. To top it off, the LA City Council has spent the last 2 years diverting a significant portion of the firefighting budget and even equipment to Ukraine.
Why isn't there water in the fire hydrants? That doesn't make any sense.
You're right. That's a good question. And I think you should start asking, why don't you call the mayor who's out of the country and ask her? And get an answer from her.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
Worse still, the Biden administration imposed a no-fly zone over Los Angeles, grounding state and local firefighting aircrafts in the heat of the inferno. Another effort made at worsening the huge losses for the citizens and residents of Los Angeles was the cancellation of insurance policies shortly before the fires, leaving unsuspecting residents vulnerable.
And then you are made to get all this insurance, and then magically in Lahaina, Maui, right before the fires, they pull people's insurance. almost everybody's, magically in the key areas of LA, pull the insurance 2 months ago. Pull the insurance.
They've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance. And these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance.
I'm going to comment about this, and I'm going to shock you. People from BlackRock are going door to door, offering to buy homes now. They say, whatever you do with the insurance company is your business. Fix what you want to don't. Here's a price we're willing to pay for your home now. BlackRock is going door to door. You think this happened by accident? The dams have been emptied by Governor Newsom for no good reason. The hydrants are empty for no good reason. LA had its rainiest season this year since the 20s. In almost 90 years, 100 years ago, it was the rainiest season, and there's no water in the reservoirs. 3 months ago, State Farm, the big insurer in L.A., just happened to cancel everybody's fire policies because the governor decided not to allow State Farm to increase their prices. So people now have no insurance. Do you think this happened by accident? One thing I learned over years on Wall Street, follow the money. Who's going to profit by this? Not who's getting hurt. Who's going to profit by this? BlackRock is going door to door, making offers now for cash. Generous. They want to take everybody's homes. This is the business they're in. It's not a secret. This has been highly organized. And as I've been saying, more is coming. Pay attention.
Some of the things they want to do, for example, I'll give you one of them. They intend to build massive smart cities. Now, you have not seen the likes of what they want to do. And don't you think about the little smart city thing that some designers are putting up there? No. No. That's just the cover-up. This is Satan's evil plan.
The global elite have chosen Los Angeles as ground zero for a calculated assault on the people, paving the way for the rapid transformation of the disaster zone into 15-minute cities. These so-called smart cities are nothing more than vast outdoor prisons, designed to trap ordinary citizens with no way out. This evil plan has been in the works for years, and now we're seeing it play out in all its grisly details before our very eyes.
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks. We're already organizing a Marshall Plan. We already have a team looking and reimagining LA 2.0, and we're making sure everyone's included, not just the folks on the coast, people here that were ravaged by this disaster.
So they cut the firefighters. They don't build fire breaks or clean up the brush for decades. Then there's no water to fight the fires. And it's in the key zone where they're going to have the Olympics coming up and build a, quote, smart city, just like Lahaina. And it's the same story over and over and over again.
In a secret revelation by a World Economic Forum insider, the whole blueprint for these evil plans are exposed. Please note that his voice has been altered to protect his identity.
Call it the rewilding. It sounds like a nature documentary, doesn't it? A gentle return to harmony with the earth, but it's not. It's a scorched earth strategy, economic, social, and cultural sabotage disguised as progress. I should know. I've sat in the rooms where the plans are whispered and rubber stamped. For years, I convinced myself that it was just another cog in the machine, doing my part for humanity. But now, the truth is unavoidable. Terror attacks are being orchestrated in secret meetings. Biological weapons are being fine-tuned in labs. Natural disasters? Engineered through a mix of negligence and weaponized technology. Every event, every crisis is another step toward their endgame. Total demoralization and absolute control. Take the fires in Los Angeles. They weren't just some tragic accident or act of nature. They were the result of deliberate failures at every level of government. Failures carefully designed to create the perfect conditions for devastation. The refusal to clear brush, the slashed firefighting budgets, the water reservoirs left untapped. All of it was intentional groundwork. The spark itself, that was cutting-edge directed energy weapons deployed with precision to ensure maximum destruction. The result? Chaos, fear, and despair. But it's not just about the destruction itself. That's only step one. Step two is what comes after. The land these people lived on, their homes, their communities, it will be seized under the guise of rebuilding. In its place will rise the 15-minute cities they've been planning all along, tightly controlled hubs where freedom will be a distant memory. The fires are just one piece of the puzzle. This is a siege by design, a meticulously crafted system of economic and industrial warfare that has been in the works for decades.
So now, looking at what they have planned as the future that they expect us to move into, our no is no. This is unacceptable because this is based on the prince of Assyria's modus operandi. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. And our complete no is what was sounding in the realm of the spirit. The realm of the spirit.
Woe unto the wicked! It shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him. Isaiah 3 verse 11.